Bonjour everyone, as you may or may not know, Wargaming released the open test for the 8.5 update and we already know what's coming. Some stuff are good, some stuff are weird. Let's get into it and take a look at everything. As I was too lazy to download the 8.5 update myself, I'm gonna base myself on Mitzi's video when it comes to everything aesthetic about the update. And basically, Wargaming introduced 3 new tanks using PBR or HD graphics, one of those being the Chimera. But let's put aside this special aesthetic it has. The cool thing is that they also changed the model of the tank and it seems like the turret is smaller, which should make the Chimera an even better tank on the battlefield simply because it's going to be harder for your opponents to shoot at your turret. The second tank to be equipped with those special graphics is the T-54 Lightweight, the tier 8 Russian light tank. And yeah, it doesn't look that much different compared to the regular model. Maybe it seems like the turret is a little bit more rounded, which should make it a little bit worse at bouncing shots on the turret, but it's only expectations. We will have to wait for Wargaming to actually release the tank to find out if it's true or not. But let's say that it seems. And finally, out of nowhere, a tier 1. A tier 1 getting the HD graphics. I can kind of understand why Wargaming is doing that, and I think that on the long run, they want to make every single tier 1 with those graphics in order to attract the eyes of the new player that just starts the game, because as it's the first time playing Blitz, it's always nice, psychologically talking, to see that every single tier 1 you're playing with have HD graphics. It's gonna make you believe that all the tanks are having the exact same level with graphics, and it will kind of force you to play again and again because you think the game will look beautiful. It's a good tactic from Wargaming and a fair play from them. Now let's talk about what, in my opinion, is the most interesting part of the 8.5 update. And this is basically skill-based rewards. What it means is that every time you will do an ace tanker with a tier 6, you will get 20,000 added or extra credits at the end of the game, and it goes gradually until you reach tier 10 where you get 100,000 credits if you do an ace tanker. And you can combine that with 2 other medals. The first one is the Warrior 1 every time you do 4 kills, and the third one is the Kolobanov medal when you've managed to clutch a 1 versus 3 situation. And this is simply one of the greatest things Wargaming is adding, simply because they are finally rewarding the skill. And this is extremely important because for free-to-play players that have a lot of skills, they will actually be able to get to tier 10 in no time, because all you have to do is rushing those ace tankers or even rushing those 4 kills in order for you to get more credits. But there is a huge downside. As we saw with the 50 TP, people are going to be thirsty over the kills. They will want to get themselves 4 kills. They will try probably to block playing platoon in order for them to farm those mighty credits. It's not going to happen probably at tier 6 and tier 7, but rather at tier 8, tier 9 and tier 10 where those rewards are the most important, and it will probably ruin the matchmaking from time to time and cause some frustrations for most of the players. But to be fair, from an objective point of view, it's a big win from the free-to-play gang, simply because you will finally be able, based on your skill, to grind the line of your choice. And talking about grinding, this leads us to the third part of this video, what Wargaming intends to do with the credit coefficient of pretty much every single tank in the game. Before, during the 8.4 update and before those updates as well, every single tank from the tech tree had different credit coefficient, which means that some lines were easier to grind than others in terms of credits and in terms of XP. Now Wargaming is changing that. They are going to try to align every single tank for them to have the exact same credit coefficient, and it also, or it kind of means that some tanks that were earning more credits before are gonna see their credit coefficient decreased, whereas some tanks that did not make a lot of credits back in the days are gonna see their credit coefficient being increased. Personally, even if it seems to be a good idea on paper, it's going to be completely destructive for the free-to-play, simply because here, for some tanks that were easy to get credits with, for example, the VK2801, that is going to see its overall credit coefficient decreased in the 8.5 update, you will no longer be able to farm credits with some of your tier 6 light tanks, which is, I want to recall you, the best tier when it comes to make credits when you are a free-to-play player and using a regular tech tree tank. And Wargaming is going to destroy that possibility, and it's probably going to cause some people to be frustrated. And I mean, they are totally right to be. Now, on the realistic side of Blitz, Wargaming is finally adding national crew voice for tanks from the European nation. So in the 8.5 update, you will have the possibility of getting your commander speak Polish in your 50 TP, speak, I was about to say German, but no, speak Italian in your Progetto 65, speak Czech in your TVP T5051, and speak Swedish in its Kranwagen. This is just an insane thing and really cool, and it was something a lot of players were waiting for, because every single nation had their original crew voice beside the European nation, and for people that are born from those countries, they could have maybe think that it was a little bit off that Wargaming didn't try and put efforts into making those national crew voice happen. Now your prayers had been answered. Now let's talk about what's gonna occur in the 8.5 update. And here is going to be a little bit weird when it comes to the AMX 5100. As you can see, the turret is gonna go from 90mm thickness to 230. I sincerely have no clue why Wargaming did that, because the AMX 5100 is supposed to be, in the first place, a tank easy to penetrate, because that's the whole purpose of it. I mean, you're supposed to go fast and to have an autoloader and play kind of a hit and run game. And Wargaming decided to make it stronger. I mean, I'm not going to complain. We don't see that much AMX 5100 on the battlefield, especially since the Somua SM hit the game. But still, I think that this buff is a little bit off. Maybe they should have put that buff on something else, maybe the mobility or something that is attached to the original playstyle of the tank, because here, with this buff, it's going to change totally the playstyle of the AMX 5100. On a slimmer note, you see that we have the Tiger 2 HP and reload buff, but it comes to a price, accuracy and max speed nerf. T32 get a penetration buff, so we kind of don't care about this, and the Pershing is finally gonna get a little bit buffed to 5.7 seconds of reload, which will not be enough in my opinion to make it relevant again, but at least it will be better for people that are trying to get the M48 pattern. It will make the grind nicer. Once again here, as I'm too lazy to download the 8.5 update, we're going to base ourselves on Mitzi's video. And just take a look at that. As you can see, the turret is literally impenetrable, even if Wargaming kept some weak spots, because you actually have the possibility of penetrating the 2 cupolas the AMX 5100 has. So in the end, even if that buff seems to be a little bit off and maybe would make you think that the tank will be broken, at least as you still have those cupolas, and trust me, they are quite big on the AMX 5100, you will still have the possibility of penetrating the tank, and it's not going to change that much. Maybe in some situations it's going to make the tank stronger and it will allow you to hold some positions, but beside that, do not believe that you're going to become a brawling tank with the AMX. You're not supposed to do that, and trust me, it's not going to work. You will still have the possibility to maybe have some trolley shots, trollish bounces, especially on the lower part of the hull, but that's it. Now, on the brighter note, let's talk about the the premiums, sorry, that are supposed to hit the game in the 8.5 update. And here we have no clue. It's only expectations I have, but personally, as they tested the M48A2 Raumpanzer like 2 or 3 updates ago, same for the Stier Waffenträger as well 3 or 4 updates ago, it's time for Wargaming to release those, and they are not broken, so they don't necessarily need to rework on them. Those tanks did not come back into testing. They were average, and Wargaming is gonna release them as such. So you can expect both of those tanks to hit the game in the 8.5 update, a tier 7 and a tier 8, both from the German tech tree. And that's pretty much it for the 8.5 update. Of course, we did not expect Wargaming to release a new branch or anything like that. Usually when they release new tanks, new tech tree tanks, the update that comes after is only kind of an update in which they are touching some mechanisms, and that's it. So we had to expect that update to be poor in terms of content. Let's wait for the 8.6 update to see what Wargaming will prepare for us. Hope you enjoy, guys. If that's the case, feel free to subscribe, like, and share. And personally, I'm gonna see you soon for a new video. Bye.